Welcome to today's episode of Pure Main Fishing. Today's video is going to be a bit of a how-to tutorial on how to tie the donkey rig. It's more of an uncommon rig. It's not as known. You might know it as a tandem rig or a double fluke rig. Basically, you just have two fluke style baits, Texas rigged on a swivel that are both connected. So it kind of gives it a schooling action. You see the bass chase the shad usually in schools, so this gives them more of a natural action, and you could potentially even catch two fish on them. And since it's fall, the bass are out looking for food, and they're feeding on shad right now, so this is especially a good fall bait for this time of year. So I'll get right into it and show you how to tie this. So the reason I'm making this video is just to show viewers another rig they can try out, and you can't really buy this anymore. So the double fluke rig or tandem rig, most of the time you can't buy it, but I was able to find this online. Logic Lures sent a tandem rig. It's actually a pre-made one, and this is where I kind of got the idea from. The one I made is similar to this. They don't sell this anymore. Logic Lures is out of business, but this is basically what I'm basing it on. It gives you an idea. You can still find these on eBay for like $5, or you can tie your own for maybe half that price, or $2-3. So I'll show you what you need to start. So first, you want to start out with two 3/0 EWG hooks. It really depends on the size of shad you're using, but 3/0 works for most sizes, and it just seems to fit really well. And I like using them because the EWG fit on the shad really well. So you got those two. And next up, I personally use a 3-way swivel. I've seen people do it other ways with like two sliding swivels, but I think the 3-way swivel works pretty well because then it allows the line, it doesn't let it get tangled, and it's just all connected in one swivel. So you got that. And then you'll need a small bead. You don't actually need it, but a small red bead just gives it more noise, like the clacking noise. It just helps give more action and noise. And you also need a small weight. I actually don't know what size this is, but it's like a 1/64 ounce, maybe a 1/32, but it's a very small weight, and that just helps get one of the shad down. Then you can get some line for your leader material. I'm using this Grand Slam Mono 12-pound. You can use 10, 12, up to 20. I mean, you don't want it too stiff, but you also don't want it really frail. When you're setting the hook, you don't want to break your rig right off. So you want some good leader, some 12-pound mono. I wouldn't recommend braid just because of the visibility, and I just think mono is a better line for this rig. And lastly, you'll need your fluke or shad. This is just the Zoom 4-inch, shad, chartreuse tail. Good size. You can use really whatever you want, but anything that imitates bait fish is good. So those are the supplies you'll need for the rig. And to start off, you want to start by tying the two hooks with the leader to the swivel. Basically, you want one rig a little shorter than the other. Like you want one fluke maybe like 7 inches from the swivel. It really doesn't matter as long as you don't want a huge amount of line, but it's really up to you. So usually I put about, start with like 8 inches of line, and start by tying it onto the swivel. You can use whatever kind of knot you want, works best. So I'll just tie this on. I usually use polymer knot, but it's up to you. So we'll tie that on. Alright, so I got that first 6-inch piece of line tied on, and then you just want to get another piece of leader. I would go about 1 foot because you want the shad swimming at different levels. You don't want them clumped up in a bunch, so I'd go about 1 foot. You could go all the way up to like 16 inches. There you go. And you just tie it to the other. Make sure you don't tie it in that same one, that same eyelet. You want to tie it in one of the other ones. So you have one open one, and then 2 of them will have leader tied on there. Alright, so now got those 2 pieces of leader tied on. This one's about twice as long. And now you take your short leader. Make sure you do this right, your short one, and you just tie your hook on. whatever knot you want. And you just tie that right on there. Alright, so I got that top hook tied on the short leader. Now you want to take your long leader, and before you tie the hook on, you want to add your weight, your small weight, like that. Make sure the narrow part's pointing towards the swivel. And then you want to take your bead and add it on. Like I said, you don't need a bead, and you don't even really need a weight, but they help a lot and they'll help you catch a lot more fish. The bead gives it some more sound and action, and the weight just gets it down quicker. And then you just tie this hook right on after. Alright, now that we got both hooks tied onto the leaders, you want to take two of your flukes and just rig them up text posed. So you take your hook, bring it through the head, come out at the bottom, bring that over, get it over the eye of the hook and the knot, poke it through. There's that one. And there you have it, your complete donkey rig. And basically what this does in the water is when it lands in the water, the shorter one with the shorter leader, since it doesn't have any weight, will sink, but it'll be closer, so it'll sit near the top. And then this one with the weight will trail behind a bit, but since it has the weight, it'll dip down faster and stay at a little bit more of a depth, so when you're reeling it in, when you're jerking it, this one will kind of pop up, while this one will go down and slowly pop up, and then that bead will just give it more of a rattling action. And then the fish have more of a selection because they see two shad, they think it's schooling, and they could go after them. I've seen videos of people catch 2 fish at a time with this rig, which is pretty cool. I haven't fished with it too much personally, but I'm hoping to get out this fall and catch some big ones on it, and hopefully I can make a future video on that. So there it is. I mean, here's another one I made. I just thought of this myself. You can change it up. I mean, you can change the size of the leader, you can change the lure, you can change the hook, swivel everything. And yeah, so you can either spend $5 eBay for this old tandem rig, which is pretty cool, but for the exact same thing, for a quarter of the cost, you can just 2 fluke, weight, bead, leader, hooks, and swivel. You got a full donkey rig. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like this video, and hopefully I'll come out with some new content soon. Thanks for watching.